Hey, Richest you money maniacs, welcome back. Tom coming at you. In this video, we're going to talk about Social Security, bankruptcy, and the current health challenge. Let's get right to it. Hey, Richest you money maniacs, welcome back. Tom coming at you. In this video, I want to talk about my own personal conspiracy theory. And I want to see how far this goes. In fact, I'd be very excited to see what you think. So once you've heard my conspiracy theory, you let me know in the comments if you think I'm full of baloney or if I'm onto something and didn't even realize it. Now, keep in mind, this is something that just popped in my head and I haven't done any research on it. And so it's not backed by any facts at all, which makes it even more completely a conspiracy theory altogether. Which means I can say whatever I want to, and it doesn't matter because it's just a conspiracy theory and no one will take it seriously anyway. So here's what I was thinking about. What would be the motivation for releasing a virus into the world that would be the most damaging to older folks? What would be the benefit of that? If you're really trying to control population, you would want to release something that has a much higher death rate. You know, the current challenge actually has I think it's 96.4%, survival rate. And so they've increased testing so that they can say there are more cases, but actually not only do they just increase testing, but the tests themselves don't even function properly. The company websites say that you're 97% of the time or more going to get a false positive from these tests, on top of the fact that the tests only are looking for parts of the virus. They're not even looking for the whole virus. And so there's a whole bunch of room for error there, right? Why bother with something like that if you really just wanted to control the population? Well, obviously lockdowns, well, that's having an impact in the way people are, whether people are surviving and whether they'll be able to survive. A lot may starve. Some may just die of depression or suicide. A lot of people are killing each other because they hate their spouse or they hate their neighbor or whatever. So there's that. But it seems like you would want something much more deadly, to me anyway, if you just really wanted to target the older generation. Well, maybe you need the workforce still. You just need them more subdued. So you don't want to kill the younger and middle-aged people. You just want to kill the seniors. Well, why target the seniors? What's the point? They're not really costing that much, or are they? Wait a minute. The United States of America's Social Security system has been bankrupt for years. The only thing that's in its accounts are IOUs from elected officials who've used the money elsewhere and promised to pay it back at some other point in the future. And because the baby boomers are retiring in massive waves right now, the IOUs are becoming larger and larger every year, to the point where even the current workforce will never be able to cover the debt of paying for the baby boomers who are continuing to retire and draw on Social Security. Wow. So the epiphany that occurred to me is that that would be motivation for actually targeting seniors. Now, a lot of you are saying, well, this is all conspiracy, obviously, and it's all conjecture. It's definitely conjecture on my part. But it kind of makes sense. Think about this too. Along the way, you can blame it on the globalists, right? You can blame it on, well, they're trying to get us all under one world government, and they have been for a long time. So that's pretty easy. It's a little obvious almost. It's almost kind of too obvious, like a distraction. Just look over here, because they've always been trying to commit genocide and get rid of large groups of people and keep populations down. So we'll blame them, right? But if you look a little deeper and you realize that the Social Security system and the US government itself is bankrupt, has been insolvent and bankrupt for a long time, and the debt is growing out of control now, where we can't even make interest payments, to the point where the Federal Reserve is typing in trillions and trillions. Remember, we've never audited them. They say they're only doing this trillion here or that trillion there. We don't know what they're doing when they close their doors. So that could be trillion multiplied by 1,000. It could be, quadrillions. It could be beyond any number that we even could imagine with our tiny little brains, right? We're just trying to actually make minimum wage or better. So if you were an elected official and you had the ability to begin to knock off some of the seniors to bring down that debt burden on the country via something else, and then blame it on another country, China in particular, wouldn't it be convenient to have it make it look like the virus comes from that country? Wouldn't it be convenient to have it that everybody locks down so that then you can control the lower and the middle class people so that there's no more middle class, but the younger people and the middle-aged people now are under control and have to work remotely by law? And that the seniors who actually are ready to retire and actually understand money and law better than the younger people and the middle-aged people are dying off at an incredible rate and feel more frightened than ever because it targets them especially? Wouldn't that be the perfect way to lift that burden off of the government as far as debt goes? Now, I know that a lot of folks are going to say there are so many other debts. There is so much that they still owe in other ways, and it's true. It's absolutely true. You're absolutely right. This was just a thought that occurred to me, and I wanted to open it up for discussion. Now, as a money maniac, how could you use this information to your advantage to actually make your own wealth out of it? Well, there's a bunch of different ways. If you can convince seniors that you have ways to keep them healthy, products to help keep them, their health up and build their immune systems, that would be one way. Another way, of course, would be to engage in government activity in one form or fashion. You're talking about lockdowns and you're talking about, only essential businesses are open. So obviously it's probably a good idea to become friendly with local elected officials, or maybe even run for office yourself. But of course, what you'll discover is that you're going to be tested on whether you're easy to control, because no one gets into political power unless they have something secret they want to keep secret so that they can be controlled. And even if you don't, they'll make something up. And it's kind of tough to swallow that, especially if you're an honest person. A lot of folks leave the political arena simply because they can't stomach the stuff that they see. I actually had a friend of my first wife's who went into that field and left immediately from the conservative side because of all the indiscretions that were occurring in front of her face. She couldn't stand it, and she immediately ran home to her small town and remarried her husband, who was a high school sweetheart, because she was so disgusted with what she saw from all of the political figures. Not anybody was clean. No one was clean. So the point here is, the conspiracy theory that I'm suggesting is the coronavirus, yes, I said it, was actually created by the deep state, United States deep state, and released in China to be able to blame China, to be able to get rid of the senior level aged people in the world, to start to pull back on the debt that's owed for Social Security. There you go. It's pretty crazy, huh? Really out there, left field. But when you're in a brainstorming session, anything goes. So let's hear your comments about that. And maybe you have some ideas on how to profit from that idea. Maybe you could sell a book, write a movie, or do a documentary suggesting that it's a conspiracy theory and get enough people to fund your movie that you could actually make it the movie and a large chunk of profit off of it. Hey, crazier things have been done. All right, so the last thought I want to leave you with is, first, if you liked this video and you thought it was at least entertaining to hear my conjecture on conspiracy theory, then please give a thumbs up. If you found it actually kind of helpful in terms of, oh, and I never thought of that, I need to look into that, then definitely subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be throwing a whole bunch more stuff out there just for fun and for helping folks. That's the whole point of all this information, is to inspire you to be able to master your own finances, to become a money maniac and learn to be in control of your own life. And the last thing that I'm going to leave you with is the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. So money maniacs, go get that gold.